Where is all of this going then? Republican strategist John Thomas, who got Democratic strategist Robin Byro, and Stock Swoosh founder Melissa Armo. Melissa, ended with you. The read that we were getting earlier on is that they're making progress. Talk that maybe the tariffs won't be 25%, maybe it'll be 10%. The Chinese delegation, we're getting late word, meeting in Osaka ahead of the formal beginning of the talks, I think tomorrow. A lot of bits and pieces there. You string them together, you start getting hopeful, should we?
No, but
oh God,
they didn't warn me that you would not be the optimistic one.
Sorry, I hate to be a negative Nelly, and I'm really a positive person,
Right.
and obviously I'm also pro-Trump because I believe he's going to get a deal done with China. However, that being said, I don't have 100% conviction it's going to happen this summer or possibly even this year, and here's why. Every time they make a little process, but it's like taking 20 steps forward and then you take 12 steps back.
You're right.
And that's what it is. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if, in fact, they get close to a deal again, it shuts down, and then Trump puts on these other tariffs he's threatening, and then watch the market poof, just go right like that.
To her point, he did sort of throw in an added thing against Vietnam, right? That they're watching them and a trade policy with them. Last time I remember, the Vietnamese were the ones who were luring a lot of businesses ticked off about dealing in China. Come to us. So now these businesses, they went there, and now they could be boomed twice. What do you think of it?
Well, I think that China is highly motivated right now because growth in the private sector has been really slow. So they're highly motivated to make a deal. It's whether or not it's worth the political cost to them. So that's where we have to dial down on this. They have 3 red line issues. They won't move on the first 2, keeping the tariffs in place and unilaterally reimposing tariffs. But I think we can negotiate on the 3rd, which is adjusting the quantum number on the number of trade goods.
I have no idea what you said, but it sounds brilliant.
Sounds very smart.
No. He's very good. He's so smart. He leaves me in the dust. But the one thing I was noticing in this is, it's maybe to Melissa's point, you got a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt. And then the salt was the U.S. sort of directing all Chinese companies not be dealing in any way, shape, or form with our companies on 5G technology, and that sort of upped the ante a bit.
It did. Look, Trump's plan B that he talked about with Maria this morning of increasing tariffs on a broader range, I think it's exactly.
I think he was making that up on the fly.
Probably right, but I think his instincts are exactly right here, Neil. Look,
Do you really think there's a pattern to this? There's a strategy?
Yeah, I absolutely do. Trump's basic premise is we've got a bad business partner named China.
No doubt, but he then, threw the Vietnamese things out. And I'm not dismissing his smarts. I don't want you to misinterpret me. I'm just wondering, where are we going? I thought the focus was China, close to deal on China. Now, these companies that you urged to relocate not too long ago go to Vietnam, and now Vietnam's a focus, and it's like a bad Abbott and Costello skit.
Look, I think the president will refocus right back on China, and politically speaking, this is a win. No matter, honestly, whether he gets a deal or not in 2020, it's a win for him because Trump. Yeah, I do think so because Trump is the first.
Those tariffs come into effect by then; they would be felt. Right?
Yes, but Trump is the first president in decades to be able to go to those Rust Belt states and say, look, I'm the only one sticking it to China and standing up for you.
Well, some of them in those states are saying, you're sticking it to us.
Well,
He's not going to not get elected if this isn't resolved, and it might not be resolved. I don't think this is going to affect him not getting elected.
It's the fact that he's taking action. I think this actually.
No, there's somebody said that, and it is unprecedented. It is, but what I worry about is, and I caught a lot of that interview we had with Maria. I thought it was kind of, all right, we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this.
Yes.
And if I'm on the other side of the table, I'm wondering where we're going here.
But he's good on the fly, and you got to hand it to him. Some people stink on the fly. He's good on the fly. That might have been 100%.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't have a deal.
But I mean,
I hope it works out to your point. Well, even you're cynical. You don't think it's.
I'm not cynical about it working out. I'm cynical in saying that every time Trump tweets that everything is great, or Mnuchin says we're 90% there, the market gaps up. The market.
Well, he said he was misquoted on that.
Mnuchin,
Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, there is a path to complete it. Well, I've used that with diets. There is a path to lose weight.